This video might stir up some debate, but it's a topic that's been on my mind for a while. It's even cropped up a few times in the comments on my previous videos. Retro gaming isn't expensive. Now, like any subject involving money, this isn't black and white. It's not binary. I might not even be right, but I'd like to explain my perspective. And I want to acknowledge up front that affordability is relative. One person's budget isn't everyone's budget. It's been over 8 years since I bought a modern gen console, the original Nintendo Switch, which arguably wasn't even current gen when it launched. And honestly, I think it might be my last ever new console purchase. Today's consoles cost over £400, and many games are £70 or more. And let's be honest, you don't truly own most of them. The discs and cartridges are often just access keys for digital licenses. So what about retro gaming? Isn't that just as expensive, or even more so? Well, like most hobbies, the answer is a bit of a superposition. Retro gaming is both expensive and not expensive. Let me explain. Here in the UK, as of recording this, if I want to get the Switch 2, it retails around £395.99. I'm not overly excited about Mario Kart, so I'd want to get Donkey Kong Bonanza. That's another £59.99. And because I'm an adult with adult-sized hands, I'd ideally want a Pro controller. And that's £74.99. So that's a staggering total of £530.97. Now, let's compare this to retro gaming. I picked up this PS3 bundle from Facebook Marketplace for just £40. And it originally came with even more games than you see here. I donated a load of sports titles to my local charity shop, but what's left is fantastic. Red Dead Redemption, Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, Mirror's Edge, Ridge Racer 7, Little Big Planet 1 and 2, just to pick out a few. The console works perfectly, and while one of the controllers is third party, I think you will agree it's months of fun for a fraction of the cost. In fact, it's £490 cheaper than the Switch 2 bundle I just described. Now some might say the PS3 isn't retro. Fair enough. Let's go back further. I found this exact Super Nintendo bundle on Facebook Marketplace for just £120. It includes the console, 2 controllers, a Super Game Boy, which opens up a whole other library of games, and 5 must-own games. And to be fair, I've also factored in a modern TV solution. The Rad2X HDMI cable from Retro Gaming Cables UK, priced at £54.99. So you can hook it up to a modern TV. This brings the total for this bundle up to £174.99. That's still £355 cheaper than the Switch 2 bundle I described earlier. What about some handheld gaming? The Game Boy Advance SP. Picking up a Game Boy Advance and these exact games individually, buy it now prices on eBay is around £150. So in fact, you could get all three of these bundles, the PS3, the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy Advance, for around £365. That's still over £30 cheaper than the Switch 2 console on its own. And how many hours worth of fun do you think we have here? Now, none of these are rare or unusual. However, as a retro gamer, I only have one lifetime, and there's more than enough affordable games and consoles to see out my days. There are many retro consoles I've yet to explore. In fact, I've recently been browsing some consoles of a Sega variety. I'm sure I don't need to tell you how much fun and joy older games and consoles can bring. So why would I ever need to buy a current gen console? Maybe I have purchased my last ever with the previous Nintendo Switch. As I said at the beginning of this video, everything is relative. You still might think all of this is too expensive, and that's completely valid. It all comes down to individual circumstances. But I think retro gaming often gets lumped into a single box or category. Expensive, rare, must-own collectibles. You don't need rare games. You don't need complete in-box collections. Retro gaming can simply be what it's always meant to be. Gaming. Thank you for spending time with me today, and I hope to see you back here soon.